For some context. For those of you that didn't read the recent Update 5 teaser article, I'd recommend reading it. It'll explain a lot about what's going on. The article focuses on Rush Hour, talking about things such as the leaderboard system, new maps, seeded runs, and all three of those are present in this video. But there's also a fourth element present, and that is the contest, which is something that wasn't explained in the article. The contest is a seeded Rush Hour run that you have to do from start to finish. You cannot pause or go back and load a save. You have to do it from Wave 1 to Wave 10. It's also highly promoted on the main menu, meaning that more players are attracted to it and will play through it, and you'll get more of a leaderboard for it. Anyways, I'm just gonna try and commentate over this in post, tell you what's going on as I play through the level. So let's jump into it, shall we? At the start of the run, the first trick that we pull off is menu buffering. You see, when you first load a map, the station signs need to load in. For some reason, you can't actually accept the trains until after the signs have loaded in, and you want the trains to be running as much as you possibly can have them. Oddly enough, the animation still plays out when you're in the pause menu. So to start the run, you pause the game before it even fully loads in, and then you align your mouse cursor so that you can get a head start and spawn the train in as fast as you possibly can have it. And by the time I fully explain this trick, the wave's already over and we're into the next one. Something you might have noticed is that I've built some excess tracks that I'm not actually using right now. This is, of course, to save time. After all, you already know how the trains are going to play out in future waves, so you already should know the track layout that you want to build. If you build tracks while trains are running, you kill two birds with one stone. If you build tracks after the wave has completed, well, you're not adding any time to your timer. The same technique is used throughout the run for routing trains to their destinations. Since we already know where all the trains are going to go in the next wave, we preemptively route the signals for those trains. You will, however, notice that I actually forget to do this multiple times throughout the run. It is not easy to remember. There is so much going on, especially in the later waves. Speaking of speed, you'll notice that I try and keep the game on ×25 speed as much as I possibly can. The only limitation for how fast you complete a wave is how fast the trains can move. The faster the speed, the better. However, something else to keep in mind is that the game is only ever limited by the last train that leaves the map. If you're a bit sloppy in the earlier parts of a wave, that's not a problem, so long as you can fix that slop and make it so your system is ready for the final train so that it's as fast as it possibly can be. In the earlier waves, you might have noticed that I prioritized accepting the second train from West Ferry to Poplar over routing the trains to Canary Wharf and from Canary Wharf. This is because the train to Poplar is the last train to leave the map on those waves, and therefore is the most important and the one that defines how long the wave takes to complete. In later waves, the train that matters most, at least in this seed, is the one from Poplar to West India Quay to Canary Wharf. Not because it stops at multiple stations, no, just because it's the last train to spawn on the map. Of course, it's still important to route every other train as fast as possible to make sure that the route is cleared for that final train, but little mistakes throughout the wave won't bring everything crashing down. Only the big ones will. But also, one thing to remember, just because one wave was worse doesn't mean that your score will wind up worse than what you want it to be. I've actually found that, for this specific contest, my Wave 5 has progressively gotten worse, and somehow I've still been able to beat my record multiple times. I don't know why this is. After all, Wave 5 is kind of a pivotal important point where new trains are getting introduced en masse. But if I had gotten it so low before, why am I messing it up now? Well, I don't have the answer, and really, I don't care. I'm still getting better overall results, and that's what matters. Speaking of results, I think the reason I'm so good at this is just because I am naturally really good at pattern recognition and doing things really fast and multitasking. And while all of these techniques really are important to making this work, you also have to be really fast and able to think at breakneck pace. So if you ever think, hey, I can beat this guy's record. Well, I wish you luck. And if it turns out that luck is on your side, nice, not bad. I guess I'll have some competition finally. Anyways, I think I finally run out of things to talk about. For those of you that noticed, I'm sorry that this video was at 30 FPS. Every time that I tried to record it on 60 FPS, I just kinda struggled for some reason. OBS was having a really bad time and was constantly going to 10 FPS. I plan to get a graphics card soon though, so hopefully that fixes the problem. If you learned something from today's video, go out there and use that knowledge. Try and see if you can beat me. I dare you, because I'm pretty sure you can't. And I want to be proven wrong. I want competition. I want a challenge. If you learned something but don't think you're going to have even the slightest of chance of beating me, well, that's okay. Hopefully you at least had a little fun watching this, right? See you next time. Cheers, folks.